Welcome to Real Life with Jenny. My name's Jenny Senapataratna. Grab your favorite drink, get yourself a snack, and we will get started. Today I have raspberry lemonade. I know, out of the blue, and you're like, what's happening? But it's hot, guys, so here we go. Raspberry lemonade and some spindle pretzels, which happen to be some of my favorite pretzels. So let's get real. Now, we just recently celebrated Mother's Day, and I will tell you something. Mother's Day is a very stressful day. I feel like I can't really celebrate it and I can't ignore it. It's like one of those days that just is really difficult for me. It's been a day that you feel like you should be caring for everybody else because that's your job. You're the mom. It's also been a day of mourning and sadness for me because I wasn't a mom and all those kind of pieces. So it's just a really big emotional day. So this year, I decided to trick myself. I know. And I was like, we are not celebrating Mother's Day on Mother's Day. We're going to celebrate it on a different day. And then I don't have to stress about what we need to do that day and all this kind of shenanigans. I just get very overwhelmed by it. So I told my husband what I wanted. I said, this is what I want. And I actually went and picked it out at the store myself because I knew exactly what I wanted. And it was one of my bucket list items. And that's what we're going to talk about today. I wanted a bird feeder. So last year I got a tree for my birthday and it came back this spring. It's actually like coming back to life. I cannot even believe it. I'm like, wow, it's living. Yay. So one of the other things that I've had on my bucket list is to get a bird feeder. So we actually went to an Airbnb a few weeks ago, and right outside the main bedroom, they had these bird feeders. And so you just sat there in the bedroom. I was listening to an audiobook, doing a crossword puzzle, and I would look up. It was not a crossword puzzle, it was Sudoku. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You don't really care. I'm not a crossword puzzle girl. I do like Sudoku. So I'm sitting there and you get to watch the birds come to the bird feeder. And this has been on my bucket list for quite a long time. And so I was like, you know what, Kev, we're totally going to do this. Because the reason I haven't got a bird feeder is because what's the point of having a bird feeder if I can't see the birds? Like my great grandmother, my grandmother Rose, was who actually my daughter is named after. Her middle name is Rose because she was feisty and she knew what she wanted. And she was one of those women that just went after it. She was just such an amazing woman. She was actually widowed in her early 50s, raised 4 kids, grandkids, like she did it all. And I remember going to her house and watching the bird feeders right outside her kitchen window. And she had so many different, now granted, she lived in a very different environment than I do. I live in a trailer court, here we are. But she lived in the country and there were so many hundreds of different kinds of birds. And I would just sit there and she'd tell me what the birds were. And I have thought that would be the coolest thing in my life. But we really don't have places to put a bird feeder that I can see it. So I'm sitting there in this Airbnb in the middle of Iowa, and it's right outside the bedroom window. And I was like, wow, I could put this outside of a window. Like, this is not about what other people want or making my house look quote unquote cute. This is about me being able to see the birds. Like, that is what this is about. So I went to the store, I got my bird feeder, I got my bird seed. I'm all ready. Kevin went and got a shepherd's hook. We put it right outside my front window because now we've got the new mini blinds that are open all the time. And so we've got these new mini blinds, and so I can now see out and see this bird feeder from when I'm doing a puzzle, when I'm sitting and doing work. Like, I can see it from the loveliness of my couch. It is just absolutely perfect. And so we put it up, and I've been waiting and waiting and waiting for a bird. Have I seen a bird? No. Have I stopped everything because I saw it moving and I was like, there's a bird? Yes, I have. It's become almost a full-time job to sit there and wait for the birds to come. Now, I know it's a new bird feeder. It's not put down by a bush because you know what? There are no bushes. Because the instructions were like, put it by a bush so the birds can find you and they can have safety. And I'm like, I have nothing like that. I have a teeny tiny little tree that barely gives off shade for a toothpick at this point. I don't have that. So I am patiently waiting for the birds to find their bird feeder. And I was sitting there yesterday and I was doing a puzzle and kind of just trying to relax, and my brain's going a million miles an hour because it's May, and May is the craziest time of the year. Like, you think December is crazy? No. It has nothing on May. Like, May is the time that everything is expected to be done, and it is just wacky. In fact, just like a week ago, I realized I had not finished my daughter's transcripts to send to college. Like, those are kind of important things to do. Crazy. So it's just a wild time. So I'm sitting there and I'm doing my puzzle and I look up at the bird feeder and I'm kind of going, are they ever going to find this? Like, I actually saw like 6 birds out there flying around, but none of them came to the bird feeder. And I was just kind of getting like, what is happening? Did I put it in the right spot? Should I move it? Is it they haven't even checked to see if it's the right kind of bird seed, but you start really rethinking everything, right? Like, you're like, should we move it? Should I go out and put bird seed on the ground so then they know it's up in the feeder? Like, I'm like thinking of all these things. And as I was doing that, God stopped me and just planted something in my heart that I wanted to share with you. And that was, sometimes the waiting is worth it. And I was like, I don't like that. I know you never say that like to God, but he knows that's how you're feeling. So I said it aloud. Really, the truth is waiting is hard. Sitting there, you put the seed in the ground and you wait for the plant to come up and for then it to either bloom or become fruit or a vegetable or whatever you've planted. And it takes time. And that time is a really difficult season sometimes. And there are a lot of you out there now planting seeds in different parts of your lives. You're planting seeds in your children, in relationships, in your finances, in your job, in so many areas. And now you wait. I'll be honest with you, it's my least favorite thing to do. I like to see instant results, right? Like that's our world right now is give me something instant. In fact, my phone case broke. And I was like, this is ridiculous. I've had it for like 2 weeks. I did nothing wild to it and it cracked. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to return it. I never return things. I hate returning things. In fact, I'd rather just never return things. But I'm like, I really just need to like let them know this did not work. And so I returned it, but I'm waiting for the new phone case to come back. And they said it would be 5 days. And I was a little like, 5 days? What? Are they recreating this? And then all of a sudden I was like, okay, wait. Like, we have just become so accustomed to something will be there that day or the next day. Or we can go to a store and it's right there at our fingertips all the time. We have lost the ability to understand what it was like to wait for your food to come in and grow, to put in a crop and hope and pray that you got enough rain and that you planted it in the right ground and that all those pieces would fall into place. That we have kind of lost that ability to wait. And as I was sitting there looking at the bird feeder, and the Lord was like, I have planted things in you that I have to wait for. And I was like, oh, wow, that's humbling, right? Like, the fruit of the Spirit are things that do not automatically come bounding out of our lives the minute we get saved. Like, we just do not become perfect human beings, right? At least I didn't. Okay, so I realized that maybe you did. I definitely did not become a perfect human the minute I became saved. In fact, I struggle from a day-to-day basis. Lord, please help me with the fruit of the Spirit. Give me more patience, more love, more joy. I need to be cultivating those, making sure that the seeds are being planted, making sure that I'm watering them and weeding them and keeping them from dying and keeping them growing. And the Lord is patiently waiting for me. And I know in my own life, there are lots of things that I feel like I have planted, that I am watering, that I'm waiting. Like, Lord, when is this going to happen? For me, it's my speaking. And I love the ability to speak. That is something that, if that's all I could do for the rest of my life, I would choose to do that. Like, if you had to choose one thing, that would be it. Like, put me up in front of a group of however big you want it to be. I'm willing to do anything, and let me speak, and I am there for it. And I feel like I've watered that, and I'm trying to nurture that and keep going after what God calls me, but it is not 100% where I want it to be, right? Like, so I'm patiently waiting for the Lord to open doors, because I refuse to bulldoze down doors, make a bonfire, and celebrate that a door is open, because that's not really an open door. That is a door that I've taken down, made into firewood, and had a celebration. I want God to open the right doors. Like, that is what I want from Him. And I know that a lot of you are in the same spot. There are dreams and there are things in your life that you just have not seen come all the way around yet. And you're going, Lord, what's happening? How long do I need to wait? And I just sat there yesterday because I had said to Kevin that when 5 birds I've seen on the bird feeder, now they can be there when I don't, that doesn't count. I have not seen any, by the way. I've watched very diligently. But when I said when there's 5 birds on the bird feeder that I've seen, not all at once, but, one at a time or 2 at a time would be even better. Anyway, I will then celebrate and take it off my bucket list. Then I will put the date and when it happened on my bucket list. And sometimes the waiting is worth the celebration. Sometimes the waiting is worth the end goal. So, my friends, as you're waiting and as you're in that season of maybe you're just beginning to decide what you're going to plant and where you want to invest your time and your money and your energy, where are you going to invest that? Because you may be going into a new season. I know for me, I'm walking into a brand new season. I have nurtured and planted and watered my young daughter for 18 years now. And now she's about to go off and spread her wings and fly. Now, will I stop being her mom? Absolutely not. Will she stop needing me? Absolutely not. But it's a new season for me. It's a season that you can start a new idea of what you can do with your life. I saw a video the other day and it was like, my last one's going off to college. What should I do? Should I go back to school? Should I get a job? And I was like, I'm so there. I have actually thought about, should I go back to culinary school? Back, like I ever went. I never went, guys. But should I go to culinary school and become a chef that I don't really want to be? But that would be kind of fun. I'd love to learn some new recipes. That's an expensive way to learn recipes. Anyway, but I'm at my dreaming stage again. Where do I want to put that every moment by moment energy of a homeschooling mom into? And I don't know where you are. I don't know if you're just at that point where you're beginning to dream again. If you're in the middle of you've planted and you're watering and you're looking and waiting and you're like, Lord, did I even plant this in the right ground? This does not seem to be fruiting the way it should be. Did I plant the wrong seeds? You may be at that stage, and waiting is hard. And I know that the Lord is with us in those waiting moments. When Jesus came out and he was praying and he was like, can you not just wait with me, to the disciples? Waiting is hard. And I don't think that the Lord gets frustrated with us when we're like, this is taking way too long. Because The longer it is, the bigger the celebration. And that's the reminder that maybe you need today. Sometimes you're waiting and you're not seeing the fruit come from what you've planted or watered. You're just like, did I waste my time? And I just wanted to remind you that when the fruit does come, when you see the end result, when I see my 5 birds, the celebration will be so worth the wait. And I want to celebrate with you. And I hope that as you're in that waiting period, that you can snuggle up to God and say, God, I need you in this time, because it's not easy to wait. It's not easy to feel like what you've done is not enough, to feel like you have hit a dead end. And it's not a dead end. It's a season of waiting. So hold on, because the celebration is just around the corner. Well, that's all I have for you today. I hope you all go get bird feeders and let me know how it's going. I'm guessing it's going better for you than me. But the minute I get a bird and get a picture, I will put it up on Facebook, Instagram. If you would like to see those, come on down and follow us at Real Life with Jenny. You can also support this ministry by going to buymeacoffee.com/Real Life with Jenny. I just so appreciate all of you who have jumped on and bought me a coffee or two, some even a little bit more. And I just really appreciate that. That has just boosted the seeds. I have to tell you, when you're talking into a microphone, you have no idea who's listening on the other end, and I just really appreciate that support. You can also find me at christconnection.cc/Jenny. All of my info is there. Great way to book a service or tell someone you know about what we're doing here at Christ Connection. Well, love you all. Hope that you are snuggling up to the Lord as you're waiting in your waiting season, and that when that waiting season is over and you begin to see fruit, I just ask you to celebrate and enjoy the reaping of that fruit, whatever seed you sowed, and then start dreaming on what you need to do next. Have a great week.